Yo, what is going on, guys? Geeks from here, back at it again with another video. It's crazy to think, but the next generation of consoles will be launching in less than 3 weeks. And given that, I thought I'd cover something that I've been meaning to talk about in a video, and that is that there's one major problem with the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S launch. You may already know what I'm talking about from the title and thumbnail, but let's just get into it. So, as many of you know, Halo Infinite was meant to be the big launch title for the new Xbox consoles, but because of the graphics backlash, they announced in August that they would delay the game to 2021, which ultimately means the game is going to be better, but it is a problem for the launch of the Xbox Series X as well as the Xbox Series S. The problem is not only will the console have virtually no major exclusives at launch, but another problem is the marketing. I've seen multiple commercials for the Xbox Series X featuring guess who, Master Chief. It can be somewhat misleading for people who are more of a casual gamers and think Halo is launching with the console, but as most people know, it is not. And I just think the launch of this generation would have a whole lot different vibe, in a good way, of course, if Infinite was not delayed. In the main new commercial for the Series X called Power Your Dreams, it features Master Chief heavily in the commercial. The commercial was probably in production before the game got delayed, but it's still something to note. There's also a Taco Bell promotion that features Master Chief, which just makes us fans wish the game was not delayed. Just imagine getting the all-new Xbox Series X and instantly playing the campaign of Halo Infinite, then booting up some multiplayer with the boys at 120 frames per second, which was announced, by the way, a couple months ago. But now we're going to mostly have to stick to third-party games like Cyberpunk 2077, which will be launching a week after the console, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which will be launching the same day as the console. But something that really sticks out like sore thumb is the fact that Master Chief himself is on the back of the box, which just really makes me wish the game didn't get delayed. Just imagine Master Chief being on the back of the console. The only thing you can play on the Series X are older Halo games. It makes me confused on how 343 had the game in development for 5 years. But as we saw in July, the graphics just didn't look super next-gen to some people. But for me, the gameplay looks good, but that's a whole different story. Next year, it will be huge for Xbox when it comes to first-party games. Not only will Halo Infinite be coming out next year, but also the new Forza Horizon game, which looks to be some sort of a reboot of the series. Fable, which is also looks to be some sort of a reboot of the series, which was a very well-acclaimed Xbox exclusive franchise. And the highly anticipated Bethesda title Starfield. If that does end up being an Xbox exclusive, which is very likely because they, of course, bought Bethesda, as I have covered in earlier videos. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, however, for Halo fans, because people who own Master Chief Collection, like me, will be getting a free upgrade, and all games, meaning campaign and multiplayer in the Master Chief Collection, will be running at 120 FPS and 4K on the new Xbox Series X, which is honestly pretty awesome. But the real saving grace for the Xbox Series X is Xbox Game Pass. As time passes, Xbox Game Pass just keeps getting better. Tomorrow, Rainbow Six Siege will be added to the lineup. And as I mentioned before, starting November 10th, which is the launch of the consoles, it is going to be adding EA Play, meaning over 60 of EA's hugest games, so you'll have a ton of EA games to play. And it will be added at no extra costs. And some will even be streamable on Android phones through the new app. Something I'm sure a lot of people will be hicking up is Xbox All Access, which for $25 a month gives you the new Xbox Series S and Xbox Game Pass for 2 years, and $35 a month if you would rather have the Xbox Series X, as well as, of course, Xbox Game Pass for 2 years, which is an amazing budget option for people who do not want to pay up front. Basically the point of this video is just to tell you guys that I just wish Halo Infinite did not get delayed. The console launch would be a whole lot more in Xbox favor. Some people say that the sales aren't super affected, which I can see where they're coming from, but I was just really excited for Halo Infinite launching at the same time as the console. Hopefully it launches next year and not, which I think it will, but not like late next year. I hope it launches in spring. Maybe it'll even launch next window. Maybe if we're really lucky, it'll launch February. Ultimately, the game will be better because of this, but it will affect the launch of the new Xboxes. But despite Halo Infinite being delayed, the launch of the new Xbox consoles will still be awesome, of course. Sony does have the upper hand on their PlayStation 5 with exclusives like Spider-Man Miles Morales. But just wait until 2021, the console war is going to get pretty heated. But tell me what you guys think. Were you looking forward to Halo Infinite like I was? Please leave a comment. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.